Have you heard of Helen Keller, James?
Sure, everyone has heard of her. Why do you ask?
I just read an article about her. She was an amazing woman.
I know. She lost her eyesight and hearing when she was very small.
But being blind and deaf didn't slow her down much. She went to college and she became a famous writer and speaker.
Did the article talk about Anne Sullivan?
Yes. She came to teach Helen when she was around 6 years old. She taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hand.
And once Helen understood what Anne was doing, she was a fast learner.
It took her a while, but she learned to speak.
She did many things and did them well.
What an amazing woman!
Have you heard of Helen Keller? When she was very young, she got sick. She lost both her eyesight and her hearing. She became blind and deaf. When she was 6, Anne Sullivan came to teach her. Anne taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hand. At first, Helen couldn't understand, but Anne kept trying. After Helen began to understand, she learned words very fast. Helen learned to speak and went to school. Later, she became a famous writer and speaker. She has been a great example to blind people everywhere. Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk in English. It's a great day here and we're so glad you joined us. I'm Pauline.
Hi friends, my name is Peter. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about society.
That's right, everyone is special. I really enjoyed talking about this topic yesterday. We can learn some helpful English and think about things differently at the same time.
Yes. Most of us can hear and see. We might not often think about people who are unable to hear or unable to see.
When a person cannot see, they are blind. When they cannot hear, they are deaf. But we should be careful about when we use these words with other people.
So what do you mean? When I see a blind person, I cannot use this word around them?
No, it's just that we too often think about how people are different and we forget about how we are the same. Yes, this person can't see, but they are still a person and they have a name, they have hobbies, they are just like you and me.
Oh, you are right. When I go to a different country, people call me the foreigner, the American. Yes, I am different, but I don't like to be called that. I have a name, Peter, just like everyone else has a name.
So we can all think about the people around us today. Maybe there is something different about those people that makes their lives harder than ours. And you might think less of this person or think they are better, but we really shouldn't do that.
Right, so this will be a great lesson for all of us today and a good reminder. So let's go ahead and learn our key words with Jack.
Hello， 我们今天讲的是 Helen Keller， 海伦凯勒。她很小的时候因为生病，同时失去了视力和听力。She lost both her eyesight and her hearing。名词听力就是 hearing。于是她成为了眼盲、耳聋的双重障碍者。She became blind and deaf。形容词 deaf 就是耳聋的。他耳朵听不到，没有办法学说话。于是他的老师 Anne Sullivan 就教他如何沟通。动词 communicate 就是沟通。Anne taught her to communicate with people。她在 Helen 的手心上写字，把字母一个一个拼出来。字母拼写就是 spell。在手心上写字就是 She spelled words into her hand。名词 hand 就是手。海伦凯勒最后成为很有名的作家和演说家。 She became a famous writer and speaker. 演讲的人或者演说家就是 speaker。
Have you heard of Helen Keller, James?
Sure, everyone has heard of her. Why do you ask?
I just read an article about her. She was an amazing woman.
I know. She lost her eyesight and hearing when she was very small.
But being blind and deaf didn't slow her down much. She went to college and she became a famous writer and speaker.
So, Peter, have you heard of Helen Keller?
Yes, I have heard of Helen Keller. She's a very famous person in history.
Right, I remember reading about her when I was a kid. Oh, but I like this question, have you heard of Helen Keller? Let's practice some more sentences like this with Carolyn.
Hello, friends. I know that right now is your favorite part of the entire lesson. Use it time. If you want to ask someone if something has happened yet, you can use today's use it. For example, have you finished your homework yet? Have you made any new friends? This is very useful to English students. Now it's up to you to use it.
Thanks, Carolyn. So yes, Helen Keller is very famous, and this is what James means when he says everyone has heard of her. He means she is famous.
Taylor wants to talk about this person because she just read an article about her. She was an amazing woman.
I like reading articles. Articles are much shorter than a book. You can read them in a few minutes to an hour. I read news articles quite a lot.
This article is a story about Helen Keller's life. And yes, she really was an amazing woman. She had a very different and difficult life from you and me.
That's right. She lost her eyesight and hearing when she was very young. Can you see? Can you hear? Those are your eyesight and your hearing.
I can't imagine not being able to see and hear.
I agree, but being blind and deaf still didn't slow her down. Jack can tell us some more about this sentence.
Taylor 说 Helen Keller 又聋又瞎 but being blind and deaf didn't slow her down much. 我们来看看这个句子。首先前面的 being blind and deaf 是一个动名词片语，它是这个句子的主词。第二点，片语 slow down 从字面上来看，我们就知道它是慢下来的意思。你可以说 slow down, you are driving too fast. 慢下来，你开太快了。或者 nothing can slow him down 表示任何事都不能让他慢下来。这个 slow down 除了讲速度的慢下来之外，如果有人生活工作太忙碌，你也可以用这个片语来表达需要慢下来休息一下。You need to slow down and rest.
Thanks, Jack. Wow, even though she could not see or hear, she still did so much. She went to college and she became a famous writer and speaker.
This kind of story really encourages me. We all have difficulties in life, but most of them aren't as huge as Helen Keller's. So we can learn from her and get hope to see what she did despite this huge challenge. If she can do it, I think we can do it.
That's a really good point, Pauline. Well, I hope we all think about that during the break, and then we'll all come back to learn some more right after this. See you soon.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
We are learning about Helen Keller today. She was a very important person in history. She was blind and deaf, but learned how to speak and write.
It's really an amazing story. And there was someone who helped teach her. In fact, no one had really taught someone to do so much. Someone who was blind and deaf. This teacher was an amazing person too.
That's right, Anne Sullivan. Well, let's learn more. Here's Conversation B.
Did the article talk about Anne Sullivan?
Yes. She came to teach Helen when she was around 6 years old. She taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hand.
And once Helen understood what Anne was doing, she was a fast learner.
It took her a while, but she learned to speak.
She did many things and did them well.
What an amazing woman!
So we learn more about Helen Keller's story. We learn from the article about Anne Sullivan.
Yes, she came to teach Helen when she was around 6 years old. She taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hand.
Pauline and I communicate by talking to each other. We also communicate by email. But how do you communicate to someone like Helen Keller?
Right, this was very different from the way we learn a language. Anne Sullivan had to think of a whole new way to communicate with her.
That's right. Anne must be very smart. And Helen, too. She must be a fast learner.
I'm a fast learner.
I'm a fast learner. We all are, because that's today's calendar phrase.
I'm a fast learner.
I'm a fast learner.
我学得很快。
I'm learning to spell.
Can you spell cat?
C-A-T. I'm a fast learner.
Can you spell dog?
D-O-G. I'm a fast learner.
Can you spell rat?
R-A-T. I'm a fast learner.
Great. Can you spell rhinoceros?
No, I'm not that fast. Rhinoceros. Ooh.
I'm a fast learner.
I'm a fast learner.
我学得很快。
We learned that once Helen understood what Anne was doing, she was a fast learner. I think all our friends out there are fast learners. You are doing great. And here is Jack to teach us something new.
James 说 ，Helen 一旦了解了 Anne 在做什么之后，她学得很快。And once Helen understood what Anne was doing, she was a fast learner. 这个句子好长哦，不过我们主要要来学句首的 once。你以前可能见过 once 这个字，它可能是当副词一次的意思。比如 We meet once a month， 我们1个月聚一次。但是今天的 once 是连接词一旦的意思，它引导的是时间的副词子句。你可以说 Once you see him, please let me know。你一旦见到他，就让我知道一下。Once I finish work, I'll go pick you up。我一旦做完事，就会去接你。这些都是 once 当连接词一旦的用法。
Thanks, Jack. It took Helen some time to learn what Anne was doing, and it took Helen a while, but she learned to speak too.
Wow, that is amazing. She could learn to speak without hearing what she was saying. She must have tried very hard.
Yes, I think that part is one of the most amazing, surprising parts of the story. But she did also have a great teacher.
Yes, I agree too. Well, friends, I hope that you feel encouraged today to keep learning English. We know it's not easy, and many people have difficult times learning how to speak in English.
And we can be encouraged by the story of someone who had much bigger challenges but still pushed themselves to learn. So maybe we can all learn from her example today.
Well, friends, let's go ahead and review. Let's look at those keywords together now.
Here's your first keyword for today. Hearing. Hearing. The old woman's hearing wasn't good.
Deaf. Deaf. Mary is deaf. She can't hear you.
Communicate. Communicate. Our teacher communicates well.
Spell. Spell. How do you spell your name?
Hand. Hand. I put the money in her hand.
Speaker. Speaker. The speaker spoke for an hour. Okay, friends, those are your keywords. Keep on practicing. And now let's take a look back at our conversations one more time.
Have you heard of Helen Keller, James?
Sure, everyone has heard of her. Why do you ask?
I just read an article about her. She was an amazing woman.
I know. She lost her eyesight and hearing when she was very small.
But being blind and deaf didn't slow her down much. She went to college and she became a famous writer and speaker.
Did the article talk about Anne Sullivan?
Yes. She came to teach Helen when she was around 6 years old. She taught Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hand.
And once Helen understood what Anne was doing, she was a fast learner.
It took her a while, but she learned to speak.
She did many things and did them well.
What an amazing woman!
James, have you heard of Helen Keller?
Of course. Everyone has.
Does she come to the Jungle Cafe?
No, Helen Keller lived a long time ago. She was an amazing lady.
Oh, what was so amazing about Helen Keller?
Well, she lost her eyesight and hearing when she was a child.
Oh, no. Ah, that is so sad.
Yes, but that didn't slow her down much.
Really? It didn't?
No, she learned to communicate and later became a famous writer and speaker.
Wow, she really was amazing.
Yes, her life is a great example to blind people everywhere.
Did Helen Keller have a guide dog?
No, I don't think so.
Did she have a guide monkey?
No, Ginger.
Because that would really be amazing. Yeah.
Family time.
Okay. The kids are in bed. The kids are in bed. It is not easy to get our children into their beds, but we have a bedtime routine. Do you want to see our bedtime routine? Good. Then join us here on Family Time.
Oh, wow, look at the time. Kids, it's bedtime. Let's get ready for bed.
Now it's time to get ready for bed. And so our bedtime routine begins.
Is it bedtime already?
Yes, it's my favorite part of the day.
What, Daddy?
I mean, it's an important part of the day. Our bedtime routine starts with cleaning up all the toys. Levi likes to help clean up. He puts his toys back where they belong. Sometimes he also likes to clean the floor. Maymay packs away her coloring things. She puts the paper and her drawings away. Kai Kai built many things today. It's time to clean everything up.
All right, it is all clean. Now it's time to change your clothes. Please put on your pajamas.
Now they like to dance in their pajamas. Do you ever dance in your pajamas?
Okay, it's time to brush our teeth.
It's important to brush your teeth. Maymay puts the toothpaste on her toothbrush. Then she brushes her teeth. Then it's her brother's turn.
All right, kids, let's go to your room.
We sing and pray together in our kids' room. This is a special time to think about our day together.
It looks like everyone is tired. All right, let's get into your own bed.
When the kids are in bed, we tuck them in, say goodnight, and turn off the lights. A nightlight is on so the kids don't get scared, and so they can find the bathroom at night.
And that is our bedtime routine. The children are now sleeping, and Andrea and I can finally relax. Thanks for joining us here today on Family Time. Good night.
Well, today was definitely an interesting story to learn more about. Helen Keller was amazing, and so was her teacher too. So friends, don't give up and keep trying, okay?
That's right. And then next time you see someone who has a disability, you can think about how amazing they are, that they have learned so much and are doing so many things with their life despite their challenges. Well, friends, we hope you'll join us again tomorrow. We'll be here waiting for you, right here on
Let's Talk in English.
Goodbye.